the final time for the GOAT.
This is it! Jeremy Martin ends his career with a win!
I'm just so grateful for everyone that's helped me throughout my career. Seeing you guys line all these hillsides right now, you have no idea how much this means.
Welcome to Title 24, presented by NBC Sports. I'm RC, you got RV here. We are both out of our studios. Before we get going, let's thank our sponsors, United Motorsports, Quad Lock, Boxo, Dunlop, Cardo. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, like I said, so I'm in the Bahamas on a family trip. RV, you are in Mississippi, I believe, right? At K-Dubs. What is it? Farm 14 or something like that? Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a couple hiccups here. Being out, he does have Starlink. We talked about that, but you said there's some obstructions, right, with the trees and stuff. So maybe not some great signal, but nevertheless, we will.
Yeah. There we are, buddy. I'm back. Yeah. I am remote Centerville, Mississippi, out at K-Dub's place, Farm 14. Brought the boys out here to do some riding, do some training, get the full experience. So pardon me if my Wi-Fi goes in and out. We are very remote. But, man, hell of a weekend out in Millville, man.
Dude, hey, we talked about track prep. And, Jay Bush asks, did the track prep in the rain make for a better racing? Should they do that more often? What did you think of the track prep?
Well, I thought the track was definitely less ruddy. It raced well, but it was also very fast. Like the speeds were high speed.
I thought the track prep was awesome. I liked how it wasn't so deep. I even got on X and was talking about it. I liked how it wasn't so deep. The reason that I liked it not being so deep is I think it had multiple fast lines because guys were able to move around. It seems like when it's so deep, and you talked about it last week on the shows, like everything kind of funnels down into that one line. Normally there's just one fast line, but it seemed like there was more options this weekend. And again, guys could move around. I thought it was a killer race. I thought the track prep was fantastic, dude, for those reasons.
Yep. No, I thought it was good. It's put it this way. It's another perspective. It's another, obstacle or a different style of track, not as ruddy. It was a faster track, a little more moving around, being able to make passes quickly. And it's a variety. And I like the variety over 11 round, pro motocross series. It's good to have the variety.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I thought it was great, be interesting. Well, we're going to, was it Washougal this weekend up the Pacific Northwest. So that's normally going to not tilled so deep. So that's going to be hard. So I think it'll be similar to how it was here at Spring Creek. But that leads to leave. Congratulations to the Martin family. You guys do a great job. But getting into the United Motorsports moment of the week, dude, hell of a career, hell of a day of racing for J-Mart, but definitely a moment of the week goes to J-Mart. Dude, I tell you what, I spent some time around him for many years, RV. He was at the goat farm back in the day. And I tell you what, that guy, the determination that he had, he never made excuses. And if you told him to do something, he would do it. And whether it was, dude, you go out there and you do 340s, that son of a gun would do it. Like he was just a workhorse, was multi-time champion. And really, I mean, he had a tremendous amount of talent, but his work ethic to me is what really stood out when I look back on his career and to go out the way that he did. Were you surprised by what you saw from him? And
I thought it was a swan song. It was the perfect weekend, home track, his mom, his dad, his brother, everybody involved. To go out like that on your last professional motocross race was pretty special. So I was very, very pleased, very happy for him. And he rode phenomenal. Like first moto, you could see he put himself in a great position, but then I don't want to use the word tired, but you could see he lost touch a little bit, and then he rode it in and he was smart about it. But second moto, dude, nobody had anything for him. You know, like he was able to run the pace. Yeah, did Haiden not go till the end of it? Maybe so, just because of point situation. But here nor there, like he rode phenomenal.
I agree with you. Like looking back, I mean, dude, incredible. And I mean, he can go into the deep also. Like we talked about it. Like, dude, he built his career around being in shape and just really outworking his competitors. And I think finally it came together for him. And you know, that's why I think that's one of the reasons that he won. I think it was a surprise to me of how well he did, considering how it's been. And he even talked about it, how the last couple of years have been gnarly. So, and you know, dude, it's tough to like just transform yourself and go out there and dominate like he did that last moto. I think that Haiden did give it his all, you know, there towards the end. He even said so. I don't think he wasn't being untrue.
Age is just a number clearly for him. To go out there in the second moto and dig like that, I'm going to be honest, I sprinted towards him, but with like 5 laps to go, I'm like, it's all yours. I ain't got really nothing left in the tank. So yeah, props to him, but man, he was moving.
When he said that, when Haiden said that, and like you said, he was in front of the guys that he needed to be in front of for the points. But yeah, I'm stoked for him. I think it was, again, a great career and what he was able to do. There's no doubt about that. So great job, J. Martin. All the credit goes to you. And like you said, I think just like a perfect way to go out on top, dude.
Couldn't be any better. Really couldn't be any better. Yeah, he's struggled with the last few years. Even if you look at his results, you know, at Hangtown, and he raced a couple coming into this. Very good. So to be able to rebound, yeah, you could say home court advantage, but dude, on your last race, I'd want that home court advantage. That's your last pro motocross race. Like, get out there, whoop some ass, and like put on a good show and leave. You know, being able to shut that chapter with a hell of a weekend. You know, he's probably thinking, man, should I keep racing?
I know. That's right. He actually talked about that. Somebody asked him, you know, does this change your mind?
I'm content, right? Like, I've accepted it. I don't know if you're ever like the motivation and when you get on top of the box, that drug, right? Like winning, that high. That's what we all chase every Saturday, right? Like, it's a drug and it consumes you. And when you get it year after year after year and you can be in that position, how do you, those endorphins alone, like, how do you just say, hey, I'm done? I definitely miss it. But I'm ready for chapter 2 in life. It does come at some point, and you know, I'm passing the baton on to these guys, you know, and I'm just going to sit back, be your VIP host, cheer them on, and you know, salute them, have a beer, go try other things in life.
I think that I think he'll. I don't think he comes back. I wouldn't. I'd be like, hell no, I'm not coming back, dude. We got the dub. I go out on top. Just a way to go out. If you haven't, go to unitedmotorsports.com /title24. Enter your email. You get a $15 credit towards your first purchase, and then you will be entered into a $50 credit to your next order. Each week they do that. So, but you only get the $15 credit for your first time sign up. So head over there. I had a great story. 2007. That was my final motocross race. And then obviously you and I, we raced the Motocross of Nations later on, but that was my final professional race, if you will. Just a great racetrack. I always loved racing there. And, you know, was it bittersweet for me? Nah, I was ready to move on to other things and start the next career. But I think, did you win that day too in 2007, RV? I think you may have.
I might have. That would have been 07. That would have been with BT, I believe. I think I might have got the overall on him that day. Yeah. Yeah. Aaron says I did 2-1 on the day.
There you go. Did you like Millville?
I did. I think Millville, obviously quite a bit different than when me and you raced RC. There was no real Mount Martin like there is now, but no, the dirt quality is really good. Like, the layout's good. The only thing they're missing from our day RC is the Whoop Monster. They need to bring him back.
Oh, I know, dude. The Whoop Monster was so good. I used to love going through the whoops. Aaron's asking me like, hey, do I remember who I passed for the lead in my final moto? And dude, I That's a lot of sunsets and beverages ago.
I would say that would have to probably be Stu, right? In 07, that would probably be Stu. Oh, Alessi.
No, dude, no, Micah, dude, your guy, Micah Alessi.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
well, shit, you had it easy then, RC.
Right. Oh, dude, shot across the bow right there, brother. So looking at the a little breakdown for the 250s, I thought that Haiden, like we talked about it on the show, dude comes out, rebounds, does what he needs to do. And from my perspective, RV, I thought it was a great ride. If you consider he didn't ride all week, I'm sure he wasn't 100%. Just doing what he needs to do, plain and simple. Really not much to talk about other than that. Like, my man, let me know when you come back. I thought Joe, I love what I see from Joe. I love what I see from him. And the reason that I do, I just seem he's got good speed. But one thing that I noticed with the hills and coming out of those corners, I felt like, to me, it would seem more noticeable that Joe's bike is really fast.
Yeah, I actually read some comments on that. It seemed like, fans' perspective seemed like maybe the Yamahas weren't as good as they've been in the past. But no, back to Haiden, RC, I think he's doing what a champion does, right? Like he's managing the whole race series exactly the way he needs to. Yes, he had a crash at Redbud, hurt his leg, it's all bruised up, but he comes out, still gets the overall, does what he has to do, didn't ride during the week. Like that right there is exactly, love him or hate him, whatever you think of Haiden, he's doing it in a storybook way of a champion, right? Like that's what you have to do. You have to show up every single weekend. And that's what he did. Like, he's riding phenomenal.
Yeah, you got to. You have to show up every single weekend, and that's the thing. Like, and not always. And we've talked about this on the show. Not always are you going to be able to dominate every single weekend, and that's the thing that I look forward to. Is like, okay, which competitors or which guys are going to challenge the championship runner. And sometimes, for 250 speaking, one weekend it might be Joe, one weekend it might be Kitchen. And just for me, watching a championship guy like Haiden Deegan, how does he react to that challenge? And as of recently, it's been Joe, and Joe's doing a great job. But yeah, I mean, it was no surprise, honestly, for me to see what Deegs was able to do. I think it was quite impressive if you consider what he went through and what last weekend was like.
Yep, I agree. And Joe, to your point, is riding phenomenal. Can't take anything away from Haiden or Joe. Like Joe's the one that stepped up to the plate.
I will say one thing, putting my Triumph hat on and giving them some flowers. A hell of a weekend for that whole squad. Mick O'Hara, P4 on the day. Incredible ride. He had a fantastic second moto. Really good speed running there. I know Joe didn't have his rear brake, which have you ever had to race without a rear brake?
At one time or another, for sure. Never probably at a pro national or supercross, but makes it tough for sure. It makes it, you can't go 100%, but that's from a fan, like everybody sitting on the couch listening, watching our show or watching the broadcast, even to see the speed Joe was able to go without a rear brake, RC, I know what it feels like. We can go that fast or could go that fast without a rear brake, but from the fans' perspective, that shows you how talented these riders are. You saw Mount Martin, how steep that hill is, being able to come down there, no rear brake. It's impressive, so from the fans' perspective, you guys should really be like, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, dude. Insane. You think about coming down Mount Martin like that. That would, for me, I would think, with no rear brake, be the gnarliest and scary. And you can't go down that fast. So Joe did an incredible job being able to manage the position that he did, that second moto, and the speed that he was doing. A good question from Bryce Mohan 13. He says, how hard is it to adapt to mid-moto when you lose your rear brake? I mean, listen, these guys are professionals, RV. They're the best at what they do. And I don't necessarily think it was physically hard. I think you just have to really plan a little bit more than what you would normally do. I mean, a lot of these guys, like, they're 3 corners ahead of where they probably actually are on the track, always, like, you know, knowing where they need to be so the next corner is good or the next obstacle is good. So I think what happens when you lose your brake, and RV, you tell me if I'm wrong, is that planning process and that braking process is you know, exaggerated because you're having to think so far ahead, you know, where a lot of things just come naturally, braking and stuff like that, where I think when you have an issue, you're just planning that much more ahead, right?
Yeah, and to your point, like I think that you have to adapt. Number one, you have to recognize the problem and know what it is, right? Boom, okay, I got no rear brake, and then you got to go into salvage mode, recovery mode of like, okay, well we have 15 minutes left, we have 18 minutes left. Whenever that rear brake actually went away completely, then it's like, okay, well I have to manage my moto the best I can because I'm not pulling off. And like you said, we're already 2 or 3 turns ahead, but it's really line selection and coming into the turns and more roll speed. Like we've all done rear brake training riding without rear brakes or not trying to use the brakes. So we're familiar with it for a little bit, but not in a race scenario. So it's identifying the problem and making sure that you're able to adapt to it very quickly. And we all know it's going to be slower for sure, right? Teams, everybody know it's going to be slower, but if you can manage the race like Joe did, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. Hey, Dunlop debate. Would that be a scoop? Would that be a scoop track for you? Scoop tire track?
I mean, I think initially it probably would. But I thought it looked harder than normal. I know I heard on the broadcast it was harder than normal or harder than it has been in the years past.
Yes, it was harder and more. I think outside of the start, I don't think that a paddle would have been necessary, in my opinion. So it's always interesting, like where is that fine line? And the guys are so, you know, focused on that start. They're willing to give up performance everywhere else on the track just to get that track position. So I see this side, but the Dunlop debate, dude, like with Levi and Tom, like where are you at with them? Do you have any like questions? Like, what do you think something's going on? Like for me, I think that Tom is just, you know, I think he's occupied with other things going on. He spoke about it a little bit with his contracts and stuff like that. That stuff can weigh on you, as you know, and I think that's what's going on with Tom Vialle. I could be wrong. I'm speculating a little bit, but just thinking about it, and because he said it's been tough. What do you think, like with Tom and Levi?
You know, and I think that there's rumors. The rumors are that he might be going back to Europe, right, for his continuing of his racing career. So yeah, that's some added pressure for sure. Obviously, with a big change like that, you know, he just got here 2 years ago, and now the tables are going to flip completely again, and he's going to go back to Europe for the 450 for MXGP. So, you know, yeah, for sure, as a racer, that's a lot, dude. That's for sure a lot. I could see dealing with that pressure or just that distraction.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah, you think about that. So. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I've never done this, and you have. It's just, dude, it's a big move. Think about, you come over here, you think you're going to be here, for the rest of your career. You move all your crap over here, and then now you're probably going to go back. What's that process look like? I'm sure he's got great people helping him with the move, but still, dude, you're uprooting your life and going back, right? It takes a lot. Moving along to the 450, no surprise. The Lawrence brothers getting it done. Jett getting the overall. Impressive ride. But, dude, I got to bring it up. And, you know, like, I wonder about a guy like Eli, what's going on. You know he's giving it 100%. Jay Bush asks, what's changed for Tomac battling up front? To battling for 10th. It's interesting for me, Eli, and what is actually going on, because again, like I said, I know he's given it 100% without a doubt. I don't know where his head's at, if he's already mentally at KTM. And that's what he's thinking about. But still, it's definitely a surprise. And I wish I knew what was going on. Maybe I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, RV, like maybe does he have an injury that we don't know about, or is he like not feeling well? Who knows? Like with ET, it's just weird. It's bizarre. That's my thought on Eli. I mean, it's really, I don't have an answer. I don't know why, Jay, that he is doing what he's doing and why he isn't performing to the level that we know that he can perform. It's similar to like on the Cowie days back in the day, when one weekend he would crush and then the next weekend he was like running around in six. It's bizarre. So hopefully he's healthy.
I personally think it's probably where he's at in his life and his career. 3 kids, longer on the tooth. You know, it is coming to an end. You know, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel when he's going to retire within 12 to 24 months period. You know, and I think that and maybe he won't say it, but or knows it yet, but it's just that I think it's that period of his career where he's at. Like, I'm not saying he's not going to win any motos again.
We are having some serious technical difficulties today. That's all right. It's putting me to the test, and playing this co-host role, it's definitely not my strong suit. It's been fun to learn. Hey, Chase Sexton, we got some sound on tape while RV is getting sorted out with his Wi-Fi. Roll some stuff. Roll that sound on tape if you can, Aaron, with Sexton.
Go faster down the hills. I was losing a lot of time, and after about 15 minutes, I said, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna get to the next race and not try and kill myself down these things." For me, they felt really, really sketchy, and the track was very fast, so I was just a little bit uncomfortable. But also, I mean, they kept the same pace the whole time and just pulled away. So they were riding really well and looked like they were really comfortable. So. Yeah, we lived to fight for another weekend, and I just want to get better and better. I feel like my early laps were better today, but yeah, just really slow. I think I could have walked down the hill faster than I was going.
There you go. I was surprised. I thought that we would see a little bit more out of Chase, especially considering last week he had a hell of a second moto at Redbud, and then coming off getting back into it another week under his belt. I thought he would have been a little bit better.
Yeah, I did too. It's interesting, completely different track conditions, right? Fast, being able to move around, and it wasn't ruddy like Redbud. It wasn't soft like Redbud. So maybe it exposed something different on the motorcycle. But nonetheless, the Honda boys, Hunter and Jett, are, they're on another level right now.
They're on another level. They're firing, and the thing is like, listening throughout the week, and there's so much speculation, a lot of people wondering like what's going on, and honestly, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. I really truly believe, RV, someone like myself or you and others that have been fortunate as you and I, and I'm thinking of what Jett might be. What's going through his head or what's not going through his head. I truly think like a guy like him and Haiden, dude, they're not thinking as much as what everyone else might be thinking. I feel like they're confident enough that they know they're going to win the championship, but they know there's going to be challengers each and every week. So they just kind of adapt to that. There's really not a lot of thinking going on. I don't think there's any worrying going on either. And so, like, that's why it sounds kind of boring, but I feel like sometimes all these people are trying to build these narratives, and like if someone's able to hold, like keep up with them for a couple laps, they automatically think, oh my gosh, this guy's going to beat him. But I don't think that those guys fret over a challenge. I just think like, okay, well, this guy's going to hang with me for this moto or this weekend, and they adapt. That's what I truly believe. I was kind of similar. I think you were similar. You just kind of, base your race plan and your battle to who you're racing against. Their strong suits, what they do wrong at the same time. And I think that's what guys like Haiden and Jett are doing right now, in my opinion.
Yep. I agree with you from what I can, from the bits and pieces that I'm getting RC, but I think the number one thing too is like look at the starts both Hondas, both Hunter and Jett are getting. They are up front every time. Those bikes get off the line. If it's a mapping thing, if it's how good those two are, that's where a big Chase, Eli, that's what they need to fix. That, number one. It's one thing to run with them out on the track, but you can't put yourself in a position to be able to start with them. That's a huge problem right out of the gate, as we see. Jett has not fumbled the ball, if any, this out pro motocross season so far off the line. Like, he's had great starts pretty much every time, and that's where I think Chase, Eli, they got to improve there. They got to start with him.
Yeah, 100%. You're exactly. They have to start, and you can't spot that track position like what you're saying, dude. You get a guy like Jett and Hunter, they're running up front all the time. So if you're running the same lap times, and then you get a 5th place start, let's just say Eli or Chase or whoever, or even RJ for that matter. We're going to talk about him in a second. Like, those guys, you'll never. It's so hard to catch those guys because you lose, let's say 3 to 5 seconds right on the first lap. So now you're 5 seconds back, after you cross the line on that first lap. It's so hard. So I agree with you. The starts, the Hondas, I think they got something going on that's working really well, like you said, mapping or something, because this isn't just by happenstance.
Yep, or they're just that good, or they have their starts dialed in, and that very well could be it too.
Yeah, it could be. I think I want to throw some kudos to RJ. We touched on it last week, RV, about how well he's doing. He's gotten better and better and better. I think that it's playing in. I think that 450 just plays into how he rides. He doesn't have to override the motorcycle, so it's actually smoothed him out quite a bit. And I think, dude, now he got a fourth on the day. And I think he makes it on the box multiple times before the end of the season.
Yeah, he rode very well. I think he passed Eli in the coming out of the second set of sand rollers.
Yeah.
I believe, that was it. I think for RJ, a big, call it confidence booster. Like, okay, I'm running up front here. I'm with these guys. I'm passing Eli. Like you said, it's smoothed them out a lot, and he's riding the 450 phenomenal. So I think he's going to get better. For me, like, I don't ever see him challenging Jett or Hunter or even Chase, maybe at times when Chase is having an off day. But, if he could solidify himself as a 3rd place guy, that'd be huge for RJ in the 450 class.
Dude, totally. And I don't, it'd be interesting to see how many people saw this coming. I was excited to see how he was going to do. And I thought, like, once I saw how well he rode at Pala, and he wasn't, he wasn't 100%, he didn't have a lot of time. I'm like, this guy could do well. And each weekend he's been getting better and better. And I think, again, I said this on the show last week, RV, I think each weekend that goes by, he gets a little more comfortable on the 450. They probably make the bike a little bit better. He knows what the 450 does right and knows what it does in certain situations and on certain tracks and conditions. I think he's going to be fighting for that podium. Going to be tough, like you said, to beat. I mean, he's going to have to be on point to beat Chase and beat Hunter. But I think he's going to challenge him to be on the podium every single weekend, bro. I really believe that. It's good to see. It's good to see. And I go back to, we don't talk about it a lot, but dude, that guy was banged up, bro. Dude, he was banged up.
Yeah, that's one thing about RJ is when he lays her down, they're not easy ones. They're not easy ones.
No, it's not. Justin Cooper, did you see his crash in practice? That was brutal.
Yes, I did. I actually was questioning when I saw him down on the ground. Obviously he slapped his head on the ground pretty good, body. At first I questioned, okay, are we going to see him out? But we saw him out there, and he salvaged a decent weekend. obviously without the crash, I put him up there racing with RJ, that third and fourth position. I think him and RJ are the ones, in my opinion, that have kind of solidified themselves for this race for top 3, top 5 every weekend. You know, they're the guys that need to, that are consistently be anywhere from 3rd through 5th.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, he needs to be top 3. Him and RJ, watching that kind of, we'll make this the Boxo breakdown section of the show. Boxo, check them out, boxousa.com. Great stuff. Talk about it all the time. They make great tools. And getting ready for, speaking of tools, getting ready for our adventure ride next week. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have they make a bag that you can put on the back of your bike or bring with you. It has all the necessities to keep you going and fix little nicks and knacks if you have an issue out on the trails. So check their tool bag out that you can bring, roll bag adventure kit. Pretty cool. But yeah, I with you. I think that Justin Cooper and RJ, they're kind of in their same silo together, fighting for 2nd or 3rd places, I believe.
Yep. And Justin Cooper takes over the SMX points lead, regardless of his. As we're looking right now for SMX points lead, Justin Cooper with 281, a total of 528. Sorry, Cooper Webb 516, Aaron Plessinger 459. And let's see where Jett is sitting 6th right now with 408. So, like you've talked about so many times, RC, these seeded points rolling into SMX. Obviously, outdoors is getting to be midway or closing it out towards the end. SMX is being next on the list of getting that seeded position coming in to those last three rounds of our year.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that plays out. RV with the SMX and the seating. I love how they do that. And I think it's going to become important. So you're going to see these guys fighting for every position. I mean, you take a dude like Justin Cooper, and with full respect, he needs to come in first. It's going to help him have a better finish in the SMX playoffs. It's guys like that who it makes a difference for everybody, but especially a guy like Justin Cooper. Right? He has a good chance to possibly win the world championship or at least be on the podium.
Yeah, no, totally. It's a bit of strategy involved, you know, like I know we're, still in we're transitioning from the pinnacle of, call it Supercross and Pro Motocross. And we have this 3rd championship that is very quickly going to be the top pedestal of our racing in this SMX playoffs. So setting themselves up right is the way to do it.
I think, like, you think about the seeding as we're talking about that, and who could be the winner in all this, and it could be Sexton. You know, like I say, the winner, taking advantage of other people's misfortunes. You talk about AP and Coop, Sexton coming up there, maybe getting into that 2nd seed. That could be big for the world championship goes. And it just puts these guys in a situation a lot like last year. And this is what was impressive, in my opinion, about the SMX playoffs last year, is how Jett sitting out in that from the Pro Motocross Championship and then having to come into the playoffs and win. Incredibly hard to do. There's no gimmies, like no mulligans, I should say. And that's so with Chase being 2nd, it's almost like Jett's in the same situation again, coming into the playoffs as he was last year. Coming in that lower seed, he's going to have to win, where Sexton has a little wiggle room. Not as much as he would probably like, but he's still gonna, it's better than the situation that Jett is in, for sure. Let's move along to Quadlock question of the week. Check them out, quadlock.com. This past week in NASCAR, I think Van Gisbergen was racing the quad lock car in the Xfinity class, I believe. He just got edged out, got 2nd. It was a hell of a race in Sonoma. They'll be on NBC here in a couple weeks. But quad lock question of the week. The winner is Jake_Lowry 185. Congratulations, Jake. I know you're from Pennsylvania. So congratulations. Appreciate the support you give RV and I here on Title 24. The question is, Jake asked, does running a paddle tire require different suspension and mapping settings? What do you think? Does it?
Well, I don't know if it does so much suspension settings, because typically when you run a paddle tire, you're in deep soil, right? So that's why you're running the paddle tire. But I could see maybe, depending on, 450, I could see it more with, not so much the 250. But if you have to maybe detune the bike a little bit, if there's too much traction coming from the paddle tire because you're running that. So suspension, not so much. But maybe a little on the mapping side, they might play around with, depending on what style of dirt they are riding on. That's my theory, anyways, or that's what I think. If you're playing around with anything, it's going to be mapping.
Yeah, that. Or I also wonder, RV, would they play around with gearing at all? Maybe because it's taking them. I don't know, especially on the 250s.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's a great
I don't know.
Yeah, great question, Jake. That's a quad lock question. You're the winner. Get over into the DMs, but it segues right into the next one, the bonus question, RC, from Chris. For how much added traction and power to the ground to scoop tire? Is it crazy to think that it's also adding extra engine load? 100%. It's biting more dirt. It's connecting to the ground harder. It's more aggressive with the scoop tire. So, and he mentioned Star Racing having maybe, some issues. Eli and Coop at round one at Paula. Hayden's bike we've seen get a little bit warm also. So potentially, right? But that potentially could be something. I personally think that within Hayden's condition, for Hayden as example, it would be more overriding the bike, more abusing the motorcycle, using the clutch too much, being on the rev limiter too much, things like that, over just riding the bike too aggressive. But that's a good theory.
Yeah, I also wondered. I was thinking about this with the scoop tire, RV, especially in the 250 class. If you're on a bike that is down on power, and then that scoop tire is taking a bigger bite out of the dirt, like you say, would it almost be beneficial to not run the scoop, so you're turning more RPM so it doesn't bog the bike down? I know that you're not getting as much forward drive. I understand that, but I wonder what the balance is. I'm like, okay, we don't have enough HP to pull the scoop. Do you think there's anything like that for the 250? I was wondering that.
I think, especially if you go down the ranks in the privateer sector, right? Like if you get out of the factories where they're pushing full maximum horsepower out of those bikes, I would think definitely, it's going to take a deeper bite, a bigger bite of dirt. And if it's dragging the bike's RPM down because it doesn't have the horsepower to pull it, 100%. Maybe that's where you go into a gearing change to try to help that. Gearing change to try to maybe help that, but yeah, that is for sure. I mean, I don't know about factories, right? It seems like they have their together, but little bike or privateers, maybe there's something there for sure with the privateers.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. I'm like, okay, and I would be thinking RV, and I did even when I was racing, I would be thinking okay, well, what tire is going to work well, or what gearing is going to work well. When I was down on power, maybe I didn't have the fastest bike that year, whether it be flywheel, whether it be gearing, whether it be tire, making sure my bike doesn't have enough power to do this. So let's run this particular setup. And I just had wondered, it's been evident and it's been known that Star has makes the best 250. I think a lot of the manufacturers have caught up to that bike. They've raised their game to the same level as Star, to whereas I think before, especially last year, that the Star bikes probably would have been able to pull the scoop tire a little bit easier. So that was cool. I'm glad that you weighed in on that, because I was always wondering, I'm like, at what stage do you bail on the scoop tire because your bike doesn't have the power to do that? Obviously, that's not the case in the 450s. Those things have plenty of juice. So that's the quad lock question of the week. Congratulations, Jake. I know you're an MMA guy in the PA area. So if you're around, if you're going into the playoffs, stop by or say, hey, I'd love to meet you in person. That's pretty much it. We're going to the Pacific Northwest, like we call it. Aaron, roll that Supercross on NBC. Show you guys what's happening. Here's the format. Make sure you guys tune in Thursday to the SMX Insider Show with Weege and JT, and then Saturday Race Day Live qualifying 2 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be live on Peacock, and then 3 p.m. Eastern Pro Motocross Round 8 Washougal National. That'll be on NBC and Peacock. Final 2 motos at 5 p.m. Eastern exclusively on Peacock. So another opportunity for SMX to be on linear TV. We'll be on the big network. That'll be great this Saturday. You love you some Washougal, don't you, brother?
Yeah, Washougal, hometown race for me. I didn't do very good there. I shouldn't do good. I did some good races there, but it was a tough track for me. Seemed like every year, but beautiful place. There's probably not a more beautiful place to go race your motorcycle than the Pacific Northwest. So it's going to be good to watch that again, and hopefully I'm going to talk to old Kev and see if I can get up into his trophy room. Maybe I'll shoot next week's from K-Dub's trophy room upstairs, which would be really cool. Show you guys that a little bit. So
hell yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I mean, I don't know. I know me and K-Dub, we definitely had some battles. So I might I don't know that he's a big RC fan, but I tell you what, dude, I always had a lot of respect for that guy. And I won my first, talking about Washougal, that's where I won my first professional championship, dude. In 1997, I was able to lock the championship up there. It was a special day, dude. I still looking back, things are happening so fast, and you go to your first championship, dude. It didn't even seem real. People are like, "Oh, dude, this is awesome." I'm kind of I didn't really know what the hell I had done. So good. It should be good. Should be good. It should be a good weekend of racing. Like you said, love what they do up there. They put on a hell of a show, and there ain't a prettier backdrop in the Pro Motocross Championship than Washougal. Hey, a shout out to Martin Davalos. If you saw on his Instagram, he's going through some stuff right now. So we're thinking about you, Marty. Hang in there. Glad that you're getting better, and thoughts and prayers go out to you, buddy. As far as all of our sponsors, thanks United Motorsports, Quad Lock, Boxo, Dunlop, and Cardo. You guys are the best. Remember, you can check us out on Peacock. We're on demand on Peacock and the Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page as well. And then, of course, all the applications for podcasts were there. And a great job again to the Triumph crew, all their riders in the top 10. That's a hell of an accomplishment and a testament to everyone's hard work. But nevertheless, thank you guys for listening in this week, and we will see y'all next week.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.